gosh, I hope I'm in frame. Awkward with this pillow. Hi everyone and welcome to Apprenticeish. I will be entirely honest with you. I think I kind of just wanted a space to vent. There's a video that I filmed a while ago which I absolutely love because it's so raw. Filmed during a time when I felt very exasperated with how many times I'd heard like, oh, isn't the apprenticeship the easier route? Yeah, I was at the height of my frustration. I genuinely do not believe from the depths of my soul that everybody should be doing an apprenticeship. It's just not a good fit for everyone. The apprenticeship is a mixed bag, and I'm saying this only because obviously my experience as an apprentice has been it's been interesting. I don't want to come and say that it's been extremely arduous because, you know, there are good and bad parts to everything. And I also don't want to come here and say like it's been a really big learning experience because it has been, but like I don't want to make it sound too positive or too negative either. There are definitely some parts that are far easier than others, and that will vary depending on the person, but it is a really big commitment depending on the apprenticeship you're doing. Obviously, there are degree apprenticeships out there that are 4 years. And you know what? I'm in my 4th year. I think 4 years is actually reasonable to be doing a degree apprenticeship, but my apprenticeship program is 6.5 years, stroke 7. You kind of just have just mini revelations as you become an adult. If you're not already an adult now, then think about 7 years ago. And I know you may think, oh, I was a teenager, or I was in my early 20s, depending on, you know, your age, or I was in my early 30s whenever you started the apprenticeship. Honestly, the amount of change and development that you go through as a person, as a man, as a woman, you become a completely different person. I think at the beginning of the apprenticeship, you know, it's all new and glossy and exciting. And I think as time goes on, things do begin to wear on you, like the constant the constant workload, or and when I say workload, I don't just mean uni work, and I don't just mean, you know, your 9 to 5 work. I also mean, you know, your community evolves around you. The work it takes to maintain and continue on relationships is just something that you can't predict. You don't know who is going to be with you at the end of the 7 years. Like, and I'm saying 7, of course, but to me, I'm just like, that's almost a decade. I'm committed though. I really have enjoyed my experience so far. I have learned a ton. Like, I genuinely don't think that there would have been another experience that matches up to what I've been doing now. I think it has been so testing of like my character and so testing of, you know, how I do things and integrity, and, you know, also my desire to do well. I'm even surprised at how much effort and energy I'm putting into like work and uni work. And I think it's the reason why I'm surprised is because when the newest phone comes out, everyone is, well, I don't know about anymore, but before, everyone was so on it, you know, making a really big deal about this brand new phone or this brand new device or this brand new piece of technology. And then over time, the excitement of it begins to fade away. And I kind of feel like I thought potentially that might be the same with this apprenticeship. And, you know, it is really hard right now having to be present on social media. I don't have to, but I also feel like there's some duty that I have to be as open as I'm allowed to be with my experience, because there are so many people who are now moving into the apprentice space, and, you know, they're on TikTok and YouTube. Some of you guys are on YouTube and Instagram, and I really love that, but also just making it, you know, I think making a part of making not only the apprenticeship industry, dare I say, but also the legal industry as accessible as possible. I feel like I also have some part to play in being visible and, you know, allowing other people to see that in the same way that I can do it, you can do it too, or it's at least something to aspire to be. I'm talking specifically about becoming a lawyer is incredibly challenging. I can almost pretty much guarantee that the same way that you've entered into the apprenticeship is not the same way you're becoming a different person. You're becoming an adult, you're maturing. But also all of these different uni and workplace situations cultivate your character, and then balancing that alone alongside your actual life, and by that I mean your social life, your life outside of work, basically. Being able to go through those changes as well, I think it cultivates an incredible skill. There's also one other thing that I don't think I expected or anticipated to see or experience during my program, is that not everyone enjoys their apprenticeship program. And 10,000 disclaimers. I'm not talking about the firm that I currently work at. I'm not talking about, someone that I like work with. But I will just put it out there that not everyone enjoys their apprenticeship program. And I think it's so important. It's so important to not only do research into your apprenticeship before you go in, because it's quite a long commitment, but also I think being able to speak to someone who works in the company that you're trying to go to. There are a lot of people who, message me on Instagram or on LinkedIn, and they ask for advice, or they put a comment in the comment section. I think it's phenomenal. Keep it coming. But also, I can only give you generic advice. I think being able to understand the workplace and the workplace culture, it's very difficult to say whether or not you'll like it before you get there, because, listen, I've learned that your supervisor or your leader, whoever's in your team, plays a huge role in whether or not you'll enjoy your time at the firm, because they can make your life a living hell, or a living heaven. Be starry-eyed at all of the benefits of doing an apprenticeship. You don't have to pay all of the uni fees. You get a salary, you get industry experience, you get to network, all at so much, like a really early age. Well, let me tell you this, there are actually some people that need that university, just uni experience, in order to be ready to go to the workplace. And I also think that there's such a rush as well for people to be exposed to the workplace. And in some respects, you can actually make mistakes in the workplace. And there's nothing wrong with making errors. But I'm just saying, perhaps potentially, if you had felt like it was more appropriate for you to just take some time before you run into a 4 to 7 year commitment. I'm really enjoying, and I really am learning. And I also just want to be extremely clear, I really enjoy the work that I do. I am obsessed with law. I am a nerd, and I do wish that I had more time to read more into legal critics and to do all of the exciting case research and all that kind of stuff. It is incredibly hard, and I think I've said no to different things, social events and all that kind of stuff this year, and probably only more recently than I have probably in the rest of the apprenticeship. I think it's much easier to manage social life, and I say social, your life outside of work, your projects, your side hustles, your extra ideas that you want to explore, so much easier to do in the early stages of your apprenticeship. I think now I'm 4 years in, I'm in the second half of the apprenticeship, which just requires that much more from you. You're becoming more and more senior in your role in the firm or in the company that you're in. I am now studying 2 modules at once, which may not seem like a big deal to full-time uni students, but yeah, trying to manage that on top of a job, oh my goodness, it is tight. On top of that, like, there are relational commitments that you need to meet as well, and I don't just mean, your partner, but like, people are getting married, people are having children. Goodness me. I remember when I first started the program, I was like, 6 years. Someone could be married with a child by the end of that time. it is a long period of time to know. There are so many people in my life I don't even know. I haven't known them for 7 years. So let alone me. 4th year is training me that if you don't take care of you, you probably won't make it to the end of this apprenticeship finishing well. Yeah, you can, I think if you don't manage your time well, I think you could easily put your mental health in jeopardy. If you don't manage things well, everything just goes out of order, and it can happen very quickly. A few too many socials one week, or a holiday where afterwards you're just not as productive for like a month afterwards. And sometimes working yourself out into a place of burnout leads to extra long recovery time. It can be, you can get yourself into an unsustainable place, and I think quite fast, which I think is what is different between this year and the previous years that I've been doing the apprenticeship. To be honest, I think I'm just gonna round this video off here and just say 4th year, it is hard labor, and I really do wish and hope that I can share my journey a lot more, show more vlogs and be more talkative about my experience. But as I say, it is incredibly challenging to film, to edit, to study, to work, to meet all my social obligations, familial obligations, wider community obligations. And then also I so deeply want to go to schools and do all the exciting stuff. So up. But yeah, I don't know, I thought I was going to come with a lot more energy, but I'm really quite calm about the whole situation, and I hope it helps somebody. I think one thing that I would say, just as like a final piece of a chin wag, is you are doing a lot better than you think you are, and it's so easy. In fact, it requires less effort to be critical rather than to accept that you're doing a good job considering the circumstances, and you should be proud that you've made so much progress in such a significantly short period of time. You're changing and evolving constantly, and it requires a certain kind of person to develop sustainably. So yeah, I'm coming to you. This is Leeks here. I am very tired on a Sunday evening, and I hope this video has been helpful. Sending you all my love. Apply out.